Trunk Nation, the final word in all things hard rock and metal.
This is a family event.
With host Eddie Trunk.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Trunk Nation is on the air live at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on the, what do we got already? 24th day of February, 2026. And hope you are having a good Tuesday. Second to last day from Vegas as I get ready to head east after tomorrow's show. Not looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day here in Vegas, but unfortunately I am going to snow and ice and cold for a bit. Back to the East Coast after I get off the air tomorrow. First, a stop in Boston, where I know they got pounded with snow, but the event that I'm hosting there on Thursday is still on. Had a call with the folks there earlier today. And the Ultimate Shredder for charity at the Lansdowne Pub is a go. It's going to be live music, guitar players. Somebody's going to get a $10,000 prize. And it's all for a great charity. So looking forward to that. And Tommy Henriksen and Ryan Roxy from the Alice Cooper Band are going to be there as well. Barry Goudreau from Boston. Should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't been in the Boston area for a long time. That'll be Thursday. And then those speaking shows coming up in Ohio. A lot going on, and a lot going on with this radio show as usual. It's every day a different adventure here, and we've got quite a schedule here coming up. So joining us today on the show, Wolfgang Van Halen. He will be joining us live in less than 30 minutes. He has a lot going on. He's got a headline tour. He's got dates coming up where he's going out with Bush. He's opening for a bunch of different acts around the world. Of course, the latest album is out there now, doing quite well at radio. So, yeah, Wolf has been a frequent guest on the show. He's been to my house. He's been in the studio. He's been on with us via Zoom. Today will be via Zoom. And we'll welcome him to the show at around 3:30 Eastern time. And we have, decent amount of time with him today. So if there is something that you would like to ask Wolf, I think we'll be able to patch you in. Right, Joel? Even though we're going to do this on Zoom, we can still take calls, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can still take calls.
So if you want to say hello to Wolfgang Van Halen, 844-686-5863 is the number. You want to grab a line and get a question in or whatever. We don't normally take questions from the audience for the guests unless they're physically in studio with me, but we can change that up. We can do that from time to time. And, since this isn't like a quick hit sort of deal, I think we'll have a little time to do that. Hopefully we can work in a few calls if you'd like to say hello to Wolfgang Van Halen. So he'll join us again coming up in less than 30 minutes at the bottom of the hour. Also, tomorrow we'll be live with Jesse James Dupree of Jackal. He will be joining us to say hello. That's a new addition to the schedule. Always fun to visit with Jesse. And then we're going to let you know what the rest of the week looks like. We're going to have pre-recorded shows to end the week, Thursday and Friday. One of them might be all new, and one might be a best of. They both might be all new. When I'm done doing this show today, Joel and I are going to spend some time recording some things and working on some things and laying that all out. Because as I just mentioned, I've got to go to Boston. I'm going to be spending a couple days on the road, so I'm going to do my best. You're going to get at least one all-new show as a pre-record, maybe both. We may work in some mailbag action. Haven't done that in a really long time. So if you do want to have some emails answered, you know the drill on that, Eddie at eddietrunk.com, mailbag in the subject, sentence or two on your question or your comment, and your name and city. I've not done emails in a really long time. I like to do that because it includes the people that can't listen live and want to get involved in the show as well. So we may have some mailbag time if you'd like to send one. That we'll jump in, we'll plug in on Thursday and Friday, depending upon how everything lays out. But you will definitely get interviews on those shows. You're going to get, again, we still have to lay it out. So you're either going to get one show with 2 interviews in it or 2 all-new shows with an interview in each one. And the interviews will be John Taylor of Duran Duran and the Power Station. That was pre-recorded a week or so ago. I've been sitting on it. I'm going to bring it to you at the end of the week. The exact day will be announced soon. And you will definitely get Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, all new interview that I am recording later today with both of those guys at the same time. And we will also add in the world premiere of a brand new song from Satch Vai together. Now, they've done 2 already. This is a 3rd one coming out on Friday, and it's called Dancing. And it is an instrumental track. There is a video that I saw an advanced look at earlier that's really funny. And we're going to talk to the guys about it and world premiere the song. We'll definitely be doing that for you on Friday. So we're either going to roll John Taylor into that show and give you a double interview show on Friday, or do John on Thursday and Satch Vai on Friday. We'll see. But you're definitely going to get both of those interviews and that world premiere of the song and the Satch Vai interview on Friday. I hope I'm not confusing you. Trust me, I myself am confused sometimes. I've got so much going on. I can't even, between pre-record interviews, between live interviews, between who's doing what, who can talk about what, what's a secret, what's public. There's a lot of traffic in my head, folks. My own schedule, my travel, appearances. I am not complaining. I'm super grateful for all of it still, but I'm just saying there's a lot. So navigating as best I can. Most important, what comes out the other end on your radios is good content, and you will get some good stuff here. So Wolfgang Van Halen today, your calls after Wolf. And then tomorrow, Jesse James Dupree. Friday for sure, Satch Vai and the world premiere of the song. And either Thursday or Friday, John Taylor. There. That kind of makes sense, I hope. As usual, at Eddie Trunk, X, Instagram, Facebook page, eddietrunk.com. We are going to also, on the YouTube channel, post the full video of the Zakk Wylde recent interview, which I know you guys will get excited to see. It's, Zakk was in great form, as you know, if you listened live, and looking forward to you guys hearing that. We're going to also put that out as a podcast. That'll be our podcast this Thursday. So I like to let it stay exclusive, the audio only, to the podcast for at least a few days, and then we'll follow that with the full video on YouTube. So that's probably the rollout on that. Of course, you can hear the audio as a SiriusXM subscriber on demand right now using the app if you missed Zakk or Blackie Lawless from LA from about a week and a half or so ago. All right, so as you can hear, very busy, lot going on. Let's get to some news. Then we'll get to Wolfgang Van Halen. We'll get to you. We'll work you in with Wolf if you'd like. I guess the big news today, a couple things, but I mentioned that this was going to hit today, and it did. It is a festival that I have hosted every single one of. I've always said it's really pretty special when you do something in your career where you've been a part of it since day one every year. And there's a few things that I'm lucky enough to say that about. Certainly the Monsters of Rock Cruise, which is coming up. There's a few. And the other would certainly be Rocklahoma, which started back in 2007. And I have been the host for every one in Pryor, Oklahoma, with the exception of 1 year, if I'm putting a little asterisk in there. But it was for good reason, because it was the year Dio passed away, and I had to host his funeral services. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is. But outside of that 1 year, I've hosted every one of these, and I'll be back to do it again Labor Day weekend, Pryor, Oklahoma. And today, Rocklahoma announced their lineup for this year's event. September 4, 5, 6, usual site. Your headliners on Friday will be Godsmack. Your headliner on Saturday will be Papa Roach. Your headliner on Sunday is Slayer, celebrating 40 years of Rain and Blood. Now, that's the first time I've seen that language associated with Slayer. I don't know if they're playing the album in its entirety. Maybe. I'm not sure. But anyway, Slayer, I think, is only doing 1 or 2 shows in 2026, Rocklahoma being one of them to close it out on Sunday. Other bands on the bill include Stone Temple Pilots. So there you go. You've got Godsmack STP who are on tour together. We've seen that a lot with festivals. They'll be doing Rocklahoma opening night. Other acts that jump out here that I'll share with you. Well, I mentioned Rocklahoma, one of the few rock festivals that includes 80s acts. They've got Slaughter on this year. They've got Buck Cherry on this year. Blackstone Cherry, who are regulars at Rocklahoma. Always great to see them. Jet is also on. Saturday, you've got Black Veil Brides. You've got Living Color. You've got Molly Hatchet. Sunday, you've got, as I mentioned, Slayer, Black Label Society. So just talking about Zach, there you go. The Pretty Reckless returning to Rocklahoma. Love them. Just saw Taylor in LA recently. We had a nice conversation. She hopefully will be back on the show soon. Suicidal Tendencies. This band President that we've been talking about is playing on Sunday. The Masked Band seems to have some buzz on them. Ugly Kid Joe and the Violent Hour. Carla Harvey's band is on here as well. Just looking down the list. I mean, there's a bunch of other bands here as well. I'm just trying to pick out a few things that you guys might be real interested in. So there you go. Rocklahoma. It's on my social media, 2026, officially announced. We'll see you there in Pryor. And the tickets are going on sale like soon, if not already. I think they may already be. Just go to rocklahoma.com for more information. All right, so there's that. Other stuff to share with you today. Probably the other big piece of news is news about Iron Maiden's documentary. So we've heard a lot of different things about this Maiden doc, and it's changed to some degree. Because initially, and I don't know if this is still the case, but initially we were told that this documentary was being made for Netflix. I don't see any language about that anymore, so something may have changed on that front. I don't know. But what they did announce is that the Iron Maiden documentary has now been titled Burning Ambition. And it's going to premiere in movie theaters on May 7th. Tickets for the movie theater premiere of this go on sale March 18th. So I don't know ultimately where this ends up streaming. We all know that these things always end up showing up somewhere streaming, usually pretty shortly after the movie theatrical run. But it will be in theaters for a limited time. May 7th is your date for the Iron Maiden documentary. In related Iron Maiden news, British Lion, Steve Harris's side band, who have been on the Monsters of Rock cruise more than once and are on it again this year, they announced yesterday, this came in late, so I didn't get to it yesterday, that they are going to do a concert prior to the cruise in Nassau in the Bahamas. And I believe the date on that is April 8th. I don't have it right in front of me, but it's a few days before the cruise goes out. The significance of this is that Steve Harris has lived in the Bahamas for a long time. Iron Maiden recorded some classic records in the Bahamas, including Peace of Mind. Was a studio there called Compass Point that a lot of bands made records at. I don't know if the studio's still there, but Steve Harris lives there. I don't know if it's his full-time home, but he's there quite a bit. So they are going to do a British Lion concert there at a venue. And the other thing about it is, as you would imagine, there's not a lot of metal concerts that take place in that setting. So I don't know if we broadcast to the Bahamas, but if you feel like going there a few days before the cruise, or you just feel like going there in general, there will be a metal show in the Bahamas April 8th at John Watling's Distillery. That's the venue. And the cruise leaves on the 12th. Maybe we're just going to pick Steve up in the Bahamas. He's going to jump on there. I don't know. It's pretty wild, though, when you see Steve Harris on the Monsters of Rock cruise, because, you just be in the buffet line. There's Steve a couple spots ahead of you, waiting to get a burger or something. It's not Iron Maiden. It's his other band. It's just, he's out there. He's, people go watch him. He's playing in a small stage. It's pretty crazy. It's very cool, though. It's one of the really cool aspects, many cool aspects of that cruise. So an additional date added for British Lion as the Maiden guys continue to work more aggressively than ever some of their outside projects. You've got Adrian Smith on tour as we speak with Richie Kotzen in Europe. You've got Bruce Dickinson, who we had on recently, doing a lot with his solo career, including remixes and concerts and new albums. And Steve Harris continuing to go out there and play with his side band as well. A few other things to mention for you today. We talked about this Bruce Springsteen tour that was kind of unexpectedly announced. And, all the sides of that, from the ticketing to the political angle, etc. Well, another change to that tour today when it was announced that Tom Morello, who has played in Springsteen's band in the past, will be making some appearances on that tour. Tom even went as far as canceling some of his own solo shows that conflicted with the dates so that he could get up and play with Springsteen on select cities. So depending if you go to that, depending upon where, you may in fact see Morello jumping in and returning to the E Street Band for some performances with Bruce. That was also announced today. When I first saw about that tour, I was kind of surprised initially that Morello wasn't involved on the ground floor. But did a little shifting around, and he will be making some appearances on that tour. Blues Traveler have announced a tour with the Gin Blossoms. It's a long run this summer, going out May 1st through September 19th. The symphonic power metal band Camelot. These guys have been around for a long time. They announced a tour for about a month in America. That'll start on April 28th. And Social Distortion announced a tour today, running August 25th through October 3rd. Punk icons going out on the road, so a little smattering of all sorts of stuff, everything from kind of punk stuff to Blues Traveler, kind of bluesy stuff, and obviously Camelot, kind of Euro progressive symphonic music. So some smaller tours or mix of tours there to shout out today as well. And I also wanted to mention this real quickly. Tommy Aldridge, the legendary drummer who I've gotten many requests for to be on this show. And Tommy and I have been talking about him being on this show for literally years. And every time I text him, he gets back to me, but we just don't get connected on it for whatever reason. Well, Tommy has now joined the incredible amount of people who are doing video podcasts, audio podcasts, etc. And it's good to see Tommy get out there and tell his story a little bit. And he's gotten real active suddenly on social media and connecting with people. So I will, and I promise you, as you just heard, we are jammed the rest of this week. But I promise you I will hit Tommy up again and try to get him on maybe even as soon as next week. And Tommy made a post, or however he delivered this information through his podcast or whatever, because as I mentioned, there were some very notable omissions from Back to the Beginning, the Sabbath Ozzy tribute show. And there were a lot of people, as you know, after Back to the Beginning, and they were all like, every rock artist was asked, well, why weren't you at Back to the Beginning? How come this artist didn't play Back to the Beginning? And as I said that whole time, well, maybe they weren't asked. There's a lot of people that you wish were asked, but there were a lot of people that were there. They can't obviously have endless people play. The thing was over 3 hours to begin with. But there were some artists that were closely associated with Ozzy that were not there. Probably the biggest one was Bob Daisley, who I didn't expect to be there because of his well-documented disputes with the Osbournes, predominantly Sharon. So although you wish the hatchet would have been buried for the night and Daisley would have been invited, I didn't expect Daisley to be there. But he absolutely should have been, because he was an enormous part of Ozzy's solo success as the lyricist and bass player on most of the material. But the one guy, that was really surprisingly not there, and especially when you consider Rudy Sarzo was there, and because he played with them at the time in the band, was Tommy Aldridge. So Tommy took to social media to say, quite bluntly, simply, he wasn't invited. Now, why that is, I have no idea. But Tommy went further and said, look, I wasn't invited. I'm not into crashing other people's parties, and that's why I wasn't there. Was it an oversight? Is it some beef that they have that we don't know about? I don't know. If it was an oversight, that's a pretty damn big oversight. So I got a feeling maybe there's something else going on. Who knows? But, Tommy, in his statement, took the high road and just basically said, look, I wasn't asked. Yeah, this was on Tommy Aldridge's official YouTube channel. Where I guess he was just I haven't watched it. He was just answering questions and, talking to fans or what have you. And this came up and he just said, I wasn't invited. So that's a bit of a bummer, especially when you consider some of the, the people that were there, certainly from his era of the band. And Tommy said he doesn't want to dish dirt or any bad vibes. He just left it at he wasn't invited. So there you go on people that have asked that. He has addressed that question. Again, I promise you we'll get Tommy on. We've had dialogue. Just got to figure out a spot, hone in, and we'll try to make that happen sooner than later. Joel, anything you want to jump in on?
Yeah, just one note to add here. We were talking about some tours that were announced that are a little off-center for rock that, our fans listen to, but still rock nonetheless. Another festival that was announced today is the Shaky Knees Festival. It features 21 Pilots, Pierce the Veil. Who else was on it that I saw? Coheed and Cambria is on there. Violet Grohl is on there. That takes place September 18th to 20th in Atlanta, Georgia. And a couple of birthdays today. Two guys in their 70s celebrating birthdays today, George Thorogood and Derek St. Holmes.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday to both of them. I know both of those guys as well. Thorogood, it's always good when I see him and say hello. He's always cool to me. Obviously, a legendary figure in the world of blues rock. And let me tell you something about Derek St. Holmes, and I see him from time to time. He lives in Nashville. I don't really think he does much anymore, but he does some of these rock and roll fantasy camp deals. But Derek St. Holmes, who is, for people that maybe don't know, he has been the voice. He was the singer on like half of the big Ted Nugent hits. He's got a phenomenal voice, and he can still sing. He may be somebody that goes into the freaks category. Now that I think about it, if he's 70, how old is he today?
Today he's 73.
Oh, yeah. He could. If you've not heard Derek St. Holmes sing, he started doing, about 10 years ago, maybe it was, they put together another version of Whitford St. Holmes, which was the band he did with Brad Whitford of Aerosmith. They made one record in like 81 that was real good. And then he did a reunion record with Derek, 10 years ago. And that was also really, really good. And then they went out and did some dates together, but doesn't seem like, there was much steam behind it, and they kind of let it go. But it was amazing to hear how well Derek St. Holmes can still sing. I mean, Derek St. Holmes is the singer on the big Ted Nugent song Stranglehold. And he can still nail that vocal. So happy birthday to both of those gentlemen. All right, so with that, we will stay on time here today because we do have a busy show, and we are going to welcome to the program. Hopefully he'll be with us right after the commercial break. If not, it might be a few minutes, but we'll get to him as soon as he joins us. Wolfgang Van Halen for a bit of time today on Trunk Nation. And then we will also include your phone calls. If you'd want to talk to Wolf, you can call in at 844-686-5863. We'll try to bring a few.
Eddie Trunk, he once won a guitar battle with Steve Vai using an air guitar. SiriusXM Faction Talk.
The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Robert Kelly.
Buddy, I wore a leather jacket in Killbox. It was the worst decision I've ever made.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Thank God I couldn't zip it.
Look like a cow.
I couldn't. Someone was like, you should zip that. I go, dude, I can't.
It looked like somebody had to cut that off of you to make a leather jacket.
The Bonfire, weeknights at 5 p.m. Eastern on Faction Talk or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
In love? Or in your feelings?
Unbreak my heart.
Slip into a channel with slow jams to match your mood.
Nobody knows me.
Timeless R&B love songs. Silk. Channel 330 on most radios. And with the SiriusXM app on your phone. At home, on your computer, Alexa, TV, and other connected devices.
Ready for big fun? Start for free at Chumba Casino. Sign up and enjoy a welcome bonus with gold coins and sweeps coins to explore hundreds of online social casino games, all from your phone. Spin, play, and discover something new whenever you feel like it, with no downloads needed. More games, more ways to play. Let's Chumba. Only available in permitted states. No purchase necessary. See terms and conditions for details. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21+.
What does comfort that truly carries you from morning to night feel like? It's Cozy Earth. It starts with the essential socks. Soft, breathable, and thoughtfully cushioned to support every step. From the first moment out of bed to the end of a long day. With multiple styles, they fit seamlessly into everyday life. And when the day winds down, that same comfort continues at night with Cozy Earth's Comforter. It's luxuriously soft, lightweight, and naturally temperature regulating, helping you stay cool, calm, and comfortable all night. No heaviness, no overheating, just deeper rest. That's what sets Cozy Earth apart. Every piece is crafted with intention and attention to detail, designed to quietly elevate the everyday. And it's completely risk-free with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Discover how care in every detail transforms simple routines into real comfort. Head to CozyEarth.com and use code SXM for up to 20% off. That's code SXM for up to 20% off. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-885-2288. 800-885-2288. That's 800-885-2288.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource. The benefits of quality water have never been more apparent. That is why families recognize a LifeSource whole house system as their essential home appliance. No regular maintenance and no worrying. We build, install, and stand behind every system. So start your new year right. Call our U.S. factory at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource. Taste and feel the difference.
Warranty limitations apply.
And now more hard and heavy conversation.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, you can do that? That's something you can do. With host Eddie Trunk.
Hell yeah, Eddie Trunk, man.
Sirius XM Faction Talk. It's amazing.
All right, as I mentioned, we got a busy week. Steve Vai and Joe Satriani on together on Friday. We're going to world premiere their new song together as well around that. John Taylor of Duran Duran and Power Station on with us as well later this week. So we got a lot of good stuff happening. And again, get caught up on the recent interview with Zach Wilde. That is on demand from last week in LA. Full video of that as well coming soon. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening. And that cool stuff continues right now because returning to the program and joining me right now is a old ancient man showing me his gray hair during the commercial break. Wolfgang Van Halen. Good to see you, brother.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all right. I made a comment to Wolf while we were in commercial break because Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti is 51 years old today. I just realized, and it blew my mind. And I'm like, I was 10 when that came out. And then I'm looking at Wolf. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you weren't even born.
I'll be 35 years old this year. That's I feel so old.
Yeah, but people still call you a kid. Does that bother you? People still call you a kid.
It does. That bothers me a lot.
I would think it would.
I'll never get to just be a guy. That's the thing.
Right.
Everybody's going to call me a kid, and I'm going to hit 40, and everybody's just going to call me an old man. I'll never have the opportunity to just be a guy. Just let me be a guy.
You're always going to be a kid, dude, because let's be honest, because who your dad was, you're going to be looked at as the kid, but I'm sure you embrace that very proudly, right?
Yes, definitely. It's all.
Absolutely, man. How do you you've been doing this for a little while now. Speaking of age, how do you feel? Do you still get juiced to go on the road?
Totally. I mean, it's a different thing with Mammoth, because it's something that I've been growing on my own. So I have a lot more. It's just, I don't know. It feels like there's more at stake, at least for me artistically, because it's just sort of my baby. So yeah, I'm definitely excited always. I mean, that's the good part of the job. That's if anything, that's not the job. The job is the traveling, and the trying to get us to get good sleep on a bus, waking up early to fly to wherever you're going. That's what you're getting paid for. The fun part is the playing for people.
Yeah, I've heard that from so many musicians. It's like the other 22 hours in the day is what you're being paid for. The
Exactly.
2 hours on stage is what you're just there to do. But as when you started touring, obviously you started touring in Van Halen, speaking of young, very young at the time.
Yep.
For you, in terms of just doing the travel and the rigors of the road, has it gotten easier for you or harder for you? Was it easier when you were a young kid with VH, or is it easier now?
I think it's just been the same. It's just a thing you either get used to or you don't. and I'm just used to it. It's a part of the job, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, because there's people that'll tell you like they're more studio dogs and they just like to be in the studio and not so much into the road. And then there's others that are just road dogs. They just want to be out there all the time.
I feel like I have two different batteries. Like I have a studio battery and I have a road battery. And whenever I'm depleting one battery, the other one's charging. So that by the time I swap modes, I kind of always have a full charge.
Kind of like a hybrid car.
Sure.
Put the brake on, it charges a little.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are your when you're on the road, and we're going to talk about the road here because you got a lot of touring coming up this year. Like what for you, are you like because you do so much. You play guitar, you play everything, you sing, obviously the lead singer in the band. Mm-hmm. Do you have a regimen when you're on the road? Do you have a regimen pre-show, post-show, warm up, warm down? What are your things you need on the road, settings you like?
At a certain point, being on the road for me is just touring and playing on the road. You're ready to play because you're just doing it. You know, we have a 10-week tour ahead of us, and it's like if we're not warmed up by the end of it, there's something wrong. You know, the guys get here tomorrow. We'll play for a couple days and just get warmed up, and then we start going. And I don't know. I think that's all I really need.
But are you one of these guys, especially I've seen this with lead singers where they're, you know, they've got certain things they need to do. Like I need to do an hour warm up, cool down.
I've found that when I do a warm up, I feel like by the time I get on stage, I've already spent like 20% of my voice, you know? So it depends. If I'm feeling a little gravelly, maybe I'll do like a little warm up just to kind of wake my voice up. But more often than not, I kind of get on stage cold, which might not be healthy. I don't know. But I feel like in terms of like what we need as a band, all we need to do is just we do the fist bump, and we got to make sure that Night Prowler plays in the house, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at some of your shows, even on this tour, and the one in Wisconsin I saw you guys at in Green Bay, and yeah, I witnessed all that. I think I was even in on the fist bump before you guys went on. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the ritual then. But it's so interesting to me, Wolf, because you know you've got a phenomenal voice. I love your voice. I said when Mammoth first started, that was the biggest revelation to me is your vocal ability. But in all my decades doing this and talking to singers, it's so interesting because it is their instrument. It is so important. And some of them are like that. Like they just walk out and do it. There is no warm up, warm down. Ronnie James Dio was like that. I would sit with Dio like minutes before he went on. And I'm like, they're like 5 minutes to stage. And I'd be like, don't you have it to do anything? He goes, no, if you can't do it, you can't do it. You know? Yeah. And then there's other guys that like scream into towels and do all this stuff. You're just kind of like, you just go do it.
Yeah, I that's a great way of putting it. If you can't do it, you can't do it. It's just kind of, yeah, I don't know. I always feel spent if I do a warm up. Like usually it's just to wake my voice up if it's not feeling right. But I feel like I change the way I live when I'm on the road. Like I try not to raise my voice. Not that I do all the time, but like I have a really loud laugh. So I have to be careful when I find something funny to not like laugh too loud and hurt my throat. But yeah, it's really just about just kind of being mindful and just making, you know, as my good buddy Miles Kennedy put it, you're kind of like the pregnant woman of the group, you know, because you can't really, it's not like you can restring your voice day of show. So it's like when people are out, you know, doing whatever, it's like you're just kind of, you need to be aware at all times that you have an instrument you need to make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah. What about from a warm-up standpoint from playing? Are you like, there's people that always have the guitar around, they're always noodling, they're sleeping with it. Are you that guy, or you like to get away from it when you're not playing?
I feel like we've been touring so much lately that just playing the shows are enough of a warm-up for me. Like we have sound check, you know, and we play through any stuff that maybe feels a little loose, and then we're ready, you know. And I mean, we stand by the stage for like 10 minutes before we go on, just kind of making sure everything's right, you know, timing it. And so by that time, I'm already just kind of warming up that way. So it's not really a long warm up or anything, but you're just kind of ready to go.
Your dad was the opposite though, right? Wasn't he like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd always heard he was like the guy that was always with the guitar and always with the warm ups and everything. He was the opposite, right?
Yeah, he was always just playing guitar, always.
Yeah, I met him. It was on the tour for Van Halen 3. We had done a radio interview, and he said he wanted to meet me, and he said, come down. It was at Madison Square Garden, and I didn't know he was actually going to follow through, and he called me into the room. And this was before everybody had phones. There was no documentation of it, but it was just an amazing moment because I was younger and I was doing radio at the time, and he goes, yeah, man, I really enjoyed talking to you. He goes, come down to the show. I want to say hello. And I was like, and sure enough, guy comes and gets me, brings me back. And the thing that beyond how cool he was and what a thrill it was for me, the thing that I really remembered about it was a couple hours before they played, and he was back there in his room, and he was just playing even while he was talking to me nonstop. So he was always like that, right?
Well, I mean, you see the way the Solo for Ice Cream Man opens up? That's a really big spread. You got to be warmed up for something like that.
For sure. But it's always interesting the different processes that everybody has. And your band, you've held this band pretty much since day one. Talk about the guys in the band and what they bring to the table for you when you go out and play live.
Yeah, I just think they're the best. I mean, it's just works perfectly live. I mean, between Frank, which people they know him as a conspirator with Slash and Miles, Garrett, who we played in Tremonti together, drums. Ronnie, we met through a mutual friend, bass player, who's just a killer. And John, who I met through my friend Clint Lowry. I played on his solo album, and then when I saw him do it live, opening for Alter Bridge, John was the guitar player, and I thought he was really great. And so we just started jamming, and before you know it, we've been doing this for 5 years now. So it just works.
Yeah, it works amazingly well, and the vocal stuff is phenomenal. And as somebody who's a stickler about live music staying live, I appreciate so much that you keep it all live. It's amazing to me. I mean, it's getting crazy what's going on out there. I hear stories every day about AI programs and all this shit, and it just bums me out beyond belief, dude. So I appreciate
the bubble
so
bursts
much.
Soon, man, because it's not sustainable. So hopefully it fucking just bursts and isn't a problem anymore.
Do you feel that's going to happen? Do you feel it's going to go that way?
Yeah, well, I saw a funny video that likened frequency of Super Bowl commercials to inevitable bubbles popping, and that happened with crypto a couple years back, and the .com boom in like the 90s, or what was it, 2000 or something. And so if that is a track record to be paid attention to, hopefully it should not be a problem anymore, because it's not sustainable. It isn't, and it's not helpful in any capacity. So it just let's backstep and figure this out.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, it's funny. Sometimes over the years, people have gotten on me because I've said I believe a live rock show should be live, and I'm like, man, if that's a controversial statement, we are fucked, because I just don't think there's anything controversial there. But fans have to start caring too. I think fans have to start caring, and I really wish promoters would start caring, because I think that would be a big plus too. There's got to be a line drawn somewhere. Otherwise, I could go out and sing and play, and I can't do shit. So that'd
be great. That'd be great. You should just get up there and just get a bunch of tracks, and just to prove everybody wrong.
Wolf, true story. A few years ago, I talked about doing this. I was going to call the band Eddie and the Tracks, and. And the artists like yourself and others who believe in live rock and roll being live all reached out to me and said, dude, if you want to do it, not only will I put you on as the opening act, we'll write the songs and record the songs for you.
That's amazing.
And I'm coming really close to doing it, because just to prove a point, like, I can't sing or play a note, but put me up there in a nice jacket and shirt and some boots, and I'll do what some of these acts are doing. What's the difference, right? Will you write a couple songs for me, Wolf? Will you track a vocal or two?
Sure, let's do it.
I'll try to do you proud, buddy. I'll try.
Okay.
Tell me about the tour that you have coming up. Tell me, you're going to start out doing your own headline dates, right? And then you go out with Bush.
Yeah, we've got our second half of our headline dates that we started end of last year for the new record, for the end, and it's going to be a good time. I mean, you saw us last year. It was a really it's a really fun show. Crowds have been great. People have been really into the new record. So it's just going to be more of that in places we haven't been yet. And then we spin off to the Bush tour, and it ends up being one of our, I think, second or longest tour we've ever had. When we opened for Guns out of the gate in 21, we toured for 10 weeks, and this is going to be another 10-week tour. So this is going to be a long one. And then we get back from that. And then I think we only have like a week, and then we go to Europe to do festivals. We're doing South America this year, opening for Iron Maiden, which is going to be unbelievable. And then we have our first ever headline run in Europe and UK at the end of the year. So we're packed. We have a lot of stuff to do. The record's out, and it's just time to tour until the wheels fall off.
I know the record has done really well here. The Spell was #1 at Rock Radio. I think that's your fourth at Rock Radio, #1. Yeah. How does that feel, man? Nobody gets radio. That's incredible.
No, it's unbelievable, really. You never expect that, so when it does happen, to know that your music is resonating at a certain level where people are requesting the radio to play it so much that it goes #1, it kind of opens your eyes a bit and just goes, wow, okay, there's some people like us. That's pretty cool. That's really great.
Yeah, and I mean, you started in this, at least with Mammoth, at a time where I would think you don't have anybody in your ear telling you musically what you should or shouldn't do, right? I mean, because back in the day, there were A&R guys that would meddle and tell you, hey, you should bring that song in at 3 minutes and 40 instead of 3:50, or cut that, or I need a hit. Yeah. You're really in an era, and you started in an era where not a lot of that would be going on with you, I would think, right? So this is really coming from your heart. You're just doing what you want to do, and it's connecting. That's got to be even more rewarding.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's a lot of validation that what I'm doing is working and is the right thing. And so sticking to my guns, and it has done well for us. So it is very validating and a very cool thing to see.
And, going over to Europe, we know what the response is. I just said it about your chart success, and you're building as a headliner and still supporting and just continuing to build this thing here. So most here in the U.S. know what's going on. But what was the response, and how was it different, if at all, in Europe?
It's been great, I think. More than anything, with like touring in Europe, you just have to go. You just have to go. You got to show up. You got to do it. And I think in that respect, we're about a year or two behind in terms of our presence out here in the States as it is out there. But every time we've played a festival or opened for people or done little headliners, it's been really, really great. The European crowds really respond well to rock music. So I'm very excited to go back. It's going to be a good time.
Is there places you haven't been, I imagine, that you're looking forward to getting to?
South America, which is this year for the first time. I just mentioned that. And then eventually, whenever it's tough as a new band, or quote unquote new band, young band, to have the budget to try and figure out how to make it to the Pan Pacific, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. So that's where I'd like to go next. It's just a matter of how we get there, and we'll figure that out. But so hopefully next year we can make our way out to Australia and Japan and stuff like that. But for right now, we're pretty much all booked up this year.
Yeah, you mentioned one of the dates you're coupling up with here in the U.S. is with Bush. Have you seen them lately? Because they're phenomenal, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we played. They are the ones who flew in and filled for Alice in Chains at the MMRBQ when they had to drop out. And Gavin is a wonderful dude. We've had many opportunities to hang out, and they're killing it. They sound really great.
Yeah, they really do. I think people forget how many hits they have too. When you go to see them,
so many. It's great.
And that dude doesn't age. That guy bums me out too, because he doesn't age. Friggin' guy is still great at what he does.
For sure.
And then looking down, like some of the stuff you're doing this year, the headline stuff, the stuff with Bush. You mentioned some dates with Maiden. Those are not in America, though, right?
No, that's South America. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be insane.
Yeah, that's just playing South America in general. Like they're a great rock area, but then opening for Iron Maiden, which might be like the most religious experience for a concert out there is going to be a little crazy. I'm almost nervous for how crazy it's going to be.
Yeah, especially there. I've gone to Brazil. I did something in Brazil. I hosted a festival there a number of years ago, and everybody told me, like, it's a different thing there. Like, it's religion.
I mean, it's a meme at this point. You know, when "Come to Brazil" is in every comment section of every band, because people rarely get out there, and when they do, they show up. You know, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and with Maiden, as you said, that's just going to be just ridiculous. Were you a big Maiden fan growing up?
Growing up, I mean, not too much. I liked like the hits. Like I remember like listening to Number of the Beast, like in middle school. But struck up a really good friendship through Dad. Like he would come to visit. Nico would come to see every Van Halen tour when we went through. God, where was he? Fort Lauderdale,
Florida. Yeah,
yeah. And so he's a wonderful guy. I know he's not playing with them anymore, but he was a really really wonderful guy, and had a lot of good fun hanging out with him. So yeah, I'm very excited.
I imagine stuff like that, older stuff like that. Did you get turned on to it by your dad, or did you kind of just discover it on your own?
Kind of on my own. I think with Dad, it was more AC/DC and like Peter Gabriel were like the big ones. But then like, you know, in high school or middle school, hanging out with friends, and everybody's going through the phases of just kind of discovering every era of music, and that's where I heard like, you know, Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and stuff like that.
Yeah, you had said that Powerage was the big record for you and your father, right?
Yeah, big time.
That was the big bond.
Down Payment Blues, baby, absolutely.
Yeah, but you just mentioned Peter Gabriel, which seems like a bit of an outlier because it's not so much guitar-based music, but that was a big thing for your dad?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I don't think it needs to be guitar-based. If it's good, it's good. And So is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. You also have dates coming up, like you're doing stuff with Megadeth, right? You're doing on some dates with Megadeth. And then you've got dates with Deep Purple. Now, these are not in America, but
no, that's in London, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about that. I mean, a band that's been doing this better than 60 years, and I had a chance to tour with Purple through Mexico a few years ago. Those guys are 80, and it's amazing how good they still are. That's got to be really cool for you.
Yeah, Machine Head was a really big album for me growing up. Highway Star was the very first song I ever listened to when driving a car when I got my license. I'll always remember that. So it was, I'm very excited. You know, they requested us, which was a really, honoring feeling. So just to be able to open for them is going to be really, really cool. I'm excited.
And do you have stuff with Guns too this year?
Yeah. In Europe. God, it's we have a stacked year ahead of us. Oh my gosh.
It's daunting to think about here, but I mean, just when you run this down, you know, Bush, Guns N' Roses, Deep Purple, Maiden, Megadeth. I mean, and the other thing, there's a decent amount of variety and different sort of eras in there, which just shows that your music has been able to connect with all these different people, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that we have such a flexible catalog that we can kind of chameleon ourselves in front of many different bands and cater to a heavier set or to a more poppier set. You know, it's while having some songs that represent like our core sound as well. So it's a very cool position to be in. I
was going to ask you that. Do you alter things? Do you cater your set list a little bit to the audience you're playing for?
Yeah, like we're not going to play Distance for the Megadeth crowd, you know? So it just kind of depends on, like I remember when we opened for Metallica, it was like, we figured that the crowd, after the first couple shows, we found that the crowd really responded to tempo more than anything. So that's when we started opening with our song, Another Celebration at the End of the World. And it was just, I don't know, it was fun just to try and, it's fun to figure out like what works with what crowd, and what, at the same time, what best represents you as a band to those people. So it's a fun challenge. I enjoy it.
I got to tell you, man, I would think though Distance is such a great song and such a heartfelt song. I would think it would work with any audience. I would think anybody would take a moment and make that work. So you don't think?
I think I think it depends. I don't know. Before Megadeth feels a little weird. Feels a little weird. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you a story.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I mean, Megadeth has a couple slower songs, a couple like semi-ballads. It might work. I'll tell you a funny story. I read an interview with Paul Stanley from Kiss a few years back, and he said when they did these big European festivals, they were on these bills with all these like super metal bands, and they would always not do "I Was Made for Loving You." And he said then one show they said let's try it, and he said it was the craziest thing. Guys with like these leather studs on their necks, and he goes, next thing they're pumping their fists singing "I Was Made for Loving You." It went over the biggest. Their disco song went over the biggest with this thrash metal audience. So you never know.
Maybe we should. That's a good idea. That also, speaking of Bush, that reminds me of when they did. Was it Woodstock '99? And Korn had just like destroyed the crowd, and then Bush had to follow it, and yet they just completely destroyed them. Like after, like it was kind of crazy how they were able to mood shift from Korn to Bush, and they just did such an incredible job. That's something I've always been really impressed with Gavin about, that he was able to take control of that crowd. It's so crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. When you look at your touring history up to this point, do you have 1, 2, 3 highlights that really stand out, whether they be shows, moments, couplings with another band? I mean, it's been you've been out there for a little bit now, but still relatively new. Are there personal highlights for you?
Personally, a couple of gigs we did opening for Foo Fighters was a really big thing for me. Being able to do that was really exciting. And then overall, I think the just being a part of the 72 Seasons World Tour with Metallica was probably one of the craziest things we've been a part of. And that will forever go down as just like, wow, that was just being a part of that and being able to see how it operates, and just like, because they're basically a traveling city, the amount of people that it takes to build that stage and just to operate in a stadium to begin with. It was such a crazy level of stuff I'd never really been around. And so just to be able to be in that area and see how it works, and figuring out how to play on such a crazy stage was a really fun challenge. And it really shaped, I think, the live band that we are now because of that.
Yeah. And their whole organization is so pro, and I'm sure they all treated you great and everything.
Oh,
and,
yeah. I'm looking at this. Speaking of treating me well, they had sent this because we were the only band out of all the openers to play every single building with them. So they gave us the perfect
wow. It's fantastic
from every show. So that, if that doesn't show you how much they care and how cool they are. And they also sent it with this was us in at the last show in Mexico, which was really cool. So
that's phenomenal for you guys. When we put this on YouTube, you'll be able to see this on Zoom.
Yeah,
but Wolf just showed me these documents.
So that was a really good time.
Yeah, I was really bummed I didn't get to one of those shows, so I didn't see that production. I saw Metallica on that run, but it wasn't when they were doing that. So I was really bummed I missed it. But the stuff I saw in the video looked amazing, and it was pretty much in the round, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah. It looked really, really cool. So The End has been out for a little bit now, and you're still touring on it. And of course, here it is for everybody. I've got a beautiful CD of it right here. Have you started thinking about another record already?
I mean, basically like Q2-ish of next year is on the books for us getting into the studio again. But I have a bunch of ideas that I'm excited to work on. I think always there's just like a group of songs and ideas that you just kind of have in your back pocket that just kind of get worked on more and more over time until you reach that point. Or there's some stuff where it's like you get stuck on it, so you just take a break and then come back to it, and then you have it. Or I guess at this point in this day and age, people just like ask ChatGPT what to do with their song, which is fucking stupid. But I don't do that. I wait until my brain goes, hey, you should do that there, and then I do it. So yeah, I have like about like 20 or 30 ideas that are super I'm interested in continuing to work on them. But since I'm in like super tour mode, like I am staring down the barrel of this crazy year, I'm kind of just shifting my focus to make sure that I'm present for all these shows. I'm sure as we get to the end of the year, I'll start shifting my brain focus into like creative mode, and that's when I'll start to maybe work on those ideas. And then by the time that we get together to record, we always end up with like 10 extra songs. So it's like, it's kind of this vault that just kind of keeps spilling over and filling up with ideas. And so, yeah, I'm excited whenever that comes. But right now, I've got a lot of touring to do before we get there.
Do you write on the road? Will you write on the bus or in between shows, or no?
A little bit. I think it just depends on the shows. For the headline shows that we're doing, I don't really have much time. It's really just about resting and getting ready for the next gig. But maybe once we hit the Bush tour and we're opening, it might have a bit more free time. It really just depends on if an idea comes to me and you want to chase it. But yeah, it was a bit easier on the Van Halen tour to shape the early Mammoth ideas in 2015 because it was like a day on, day off, but when we're doing a headline tour and it's like 3 in a row, it's a bit tougher to find the space to think creatively.
And one thing that just hit me, when you talked about making new music, you said we. Now everybody knows you do everything on these records. So did you mean you and Elvis?
Yeah, when I say we, I refer to the people it takes to make a Mammoth album, which is me, Elvis Basquette, my producer, Jeff Mall, our engineer, and Josh, Elvis's assistant. Basically, the 4 of us get together in the studio, and then 2 months later, a Mammoth album is ready to go.
And I know Elvis is based in Florida. Do you go there to do it?
No, he comes out here, and we record in 5150.
Oh, okay, cool. And how is the studio? When the fires happened about a year ago in LA, they got close to 5150, right?
Yeah. We were recording when it was happening.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was not easy. But luckily we've had a lot of rain this year, so we are not in the same place that we were last year. But yeah, that was scary. I think that's why the record is called The End, and why a lot of the lyrical content on the record is kind of dipped in panic and anxiety, because we were going through the fires when I was writing all the lyrics.
Did they get real close to you? Did you get into a situation where you pulled stuff out of there?
There were multiple fires within a mile of the house. So I had rented a U-Haul truck and basically Sophie's choiced my way through every of my dad's possessions, and just stocked up a huge U-Haul truck filled with everything that had to leave, we would hop in and just get out. Like I had the Frankenstein in the back of my car.
Oh my gosh.
It was just, I couldn't even think about any of my stuff. It was like, I need to make sure all my dad's stuff is safe. Yeah, would not do that again if given the opportunity. Luckily, we've had a lot more moist of a year to where it's a lot greener and a lot less drier, which is pretty cool.
But it's good to know that at least you were there, or somebody was there, that if you had to do a runner, that some of that stuff could have been saved, because you heard these stories about some things that were just lost forever. And
what happened to Lair from Primus, man? I can't believe like a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. Like it was.
I didn't know about Primus. What did they lose?
Lair, the guitar player, he lost his whole house and everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So terrible. It just, it was really messed up. It affected a lot of people, and we were lucky enough to get through it, but it was just a terrible time and very, very scary.
Have you thought about taking some of those like invaluable things that were your dad's and putting them somewhere else, or putting them in some sort of lockup or some sort of
Well, a lot of the important stuff is locked up in a place that would not be affected if something were to happen. But just it's the fact that there's so much stuff, and that the building itself is what is important. So that's and the building was built in the 80s, so it's a bit tougher in terms of like building I don't know. So it's just a matter of getting lucky at a certain point, but also just trying to be as prepared as possible. We did a lot of brush clearance after. The property surrounding the studio is a lot safer in that respect. It has caused us to reevaluate a lot of different stuff and how to potentially negate any type of situation like that having again as much as we can control. But the thing that was so crazy about those fires was it was because of the wind more than anything. The wind was like hurricane level wind, and that is stuff that you can't really have much control over.
As a studio, is 5150 exclusively for you to record in? Because I know back in the day, I have a friend that made a record there, that back in the day you could go there and use it. Is that still a part of the business there, or is it more private now?
I mean, it was kind of like who was ever dad was cool with that would come in and record stuff. Like, for example, Alter Bridge just came in and did their writing pre-production for their most recent record because they're my buds. They needed a place to write, and I was like, hey, you can do this. So I guess it just depends, really. For right now, since it's such a fickle sort of building in terms of the technology, sometimes we need to spend like a good week or two to make sure everything is up to snuff by the time we start recording. So it's not like it's 24/7 being ready to be used. It's just kind of on like an 18-month cycle for us. So for right now, if we decided to do that, we would have to maybe have a little shift in focus. But for right now, it's pretty much just the Mammoth recording studio more than anything right now.
What do you think of the new AB record, man? I think it's killer.
Oh, it's great. It's so killer. It's like a rebirth for them. I really love it for them. I love those guys. Yeah. I mean, they get heavier with every record. My God, those riffs are just unreal. Yeah.
I mean, I love Fortress is probably my favorite Alter Bridge record, and this is like right up there with it, man. It's like and I don't know how they do it, because when I think about just what Mark is doing alone right now, from Tremonti to Sinatra to Creed, I'm about to host the Creed cruise coming up. I mean, all this stuff, and then to just even the scheduling, I can't even imagine how you do all that. Miles doing his solo thing, he opened for you. It's like connecting the dots is crazy, but it's all good stuff.
Busy guys, but it's great. They're just very talented.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Hey, if you're cool with it, the few people in the audience would love to say a quick hello to you, and I won't keep you too long, but they'd love to say hi.
Yeah.
And but before we get there, and I'm gonna circumvent this on the calls already, because you know that your uncle made a lot of news recently when he said that there's this unreleased record that Lukather's going to play some guitar. He did say you played some stuff on it as well. What, from your perspective, can you tell the audience about that?
I mean, I haven't played anything yet, so I'm not sure what Al is talking about in that respect. They could be older ideas that maybe we worked on 15 years ago or something, because there was a couple of years where Dad, Al, and I were just jamming in the studio for 3 years or something. But I really do think it's more of Al's thing to talk about. I'm really just here in a position of helping him with whatever he needs. If he needs space on something, I'm there. If he needs anything else, I'm there. Whatever he needs. But it's definitely his thing to spearhead, and I'm in a support position.
So as of now, you don't really know what the material is. You haven't talked to him. You don't know what the source of it, the timeline of it, what it actually was.
Mm-mm.
So you haven't heard anything about it. And do you get involved in, it's been really cool because people have always wanted VH reissues, and we're now seeing like a 5150 a box set is coming. There was a For Unlawful one. There was the box set of the Roth years. There's been some stuff starting to come through the pipeline. Do you get involved in that at all, or is that not you?
I'm there in a support position as well. Al is the decision guy. I'm just there to help him with whatever he needs. So, I mean, again, I'm just in that support position.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's cool to see. I know the fans are happy that there's some movement there and there's some things starting to come down the pipeline. So that's very cool. Let's say hi to David in Buffalo. David, go ahead and say hi to Wolfgang Van Halen.
Hey, how's it going? It's awesome to get to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you kick off the tour in Buffalo next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. How's it going,
is that where
David?
You're starting? You getting the first show there?
Oh, yeah.
And I was just wondering, are you going to have any set list shakeups or debuts or anything for us? And I appreciate everything you did on A Different Kind of Truth. There's some killer riffs on there. So I'll hang up and listen. But awesome to talk to you and see you next
David.
week.
David, before you hang up and before Wolf answers, I'm going to ask you the most important question that Wolf needs to know, and he may not even realize it, because he's in beautiful Southern California right now, and I'm going east tomorrow. What is the weather like in Buffalo?
So currently, I'm driving by the Niagara River over by Canada right now. It's 25 degrees, and there's a little bit of snow on the ground, but from a Buffalo standpoint, it's fine. We really didn't get the blizzard.
All right.
I'll bring a hoodie.
Bring more than a hoodie.
I'd recommend it.
All right, thank you, David, because I'm going to Boston tomorrow, and I know they got like 3 feet of snow, so I just got off the phone with some people there. But set list-wise, to answer David's question, Wolf, what do you got?
Yeah, we definitely. Well, first of all, thank you for the compliments on Different Kind of Truth. It was a really good time. And then, for this is the second leg, so we definitely want to mix it up a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a song or two swapped around. We weren't able to play all the new stuff off the new record. So we'll once we get into rehearsals these next couple of days, I think we'll figure out. So hopefully we get to mix the setup a little bit.
Heather in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Heather. Say hi to Wolfgang Van Halen.
Hi, Wolf. Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
How's it going?
We're good.
Well, he kind of took my question, so I'm going to have to pivot a little bit. But first, I just want to say thank you so much for being such an inspiration and bringing so much joy on a daily basis. Ever since I heard You're to Blame on the Howard Stern show, I was an instant fan, connected instantly with me, and I haven't stopped listening since, like on a daily basis, honestly. So I just want to thank you so much.
That's very sweet. Thank you so much.
But also, very much looking forward to seeing you live, and looking forward to hopefully hearing a couple more new songs from the new album. But I'm going to pivot for a second and ask you one thing I've always wondered. One of your musical inspirations, Maynard, he is not a big fan of cell phones at concerts. And I just kind of wondered how you felt about that, because you've always been really cool about letting us record and share videos and stuff like that. But is that something you wish wasn't the case, or what do you think about it?
I think it's more of a commentary on just where we are as a society and how tethered we are to our phones. So I definitely agree with the sentiment, and I think that's cool. I'm not that strict enough to do that to people. I do think it would be healthier to just kind of live in the moment a bit. The last 2 months I've had off, the screen time on my phone has drastically gone down, and I've been much better for it. I feel much healthier in my head, not being glued to the brain rot machine that is my phone. So I definitely get where they're coming from. I know, was it Ghost too that they were enforcing that too?
I just went to see Ghost. It was the first time I did the cell phone lockup in the pouch.
It's a really cool thing to see, and I think in this day and age we're so spoiled with convenience and technology that it's almost like nothing matters anymore. So it's a really cool thing when you're able to just unplug and just experience a thing without having that itching feeling in your brain to like reach for your pocket. But I don't know if we'll do that, especially not at I feel like our show is just, you're kind of seeing guys play up there. But for when it comes to like Tool, I get that. That's a show you want to witness. And I don't want to be glued to my phone. So I can see both benefits of both ways, especially being a younger band like this. It does help to get, socials and people film videos and put it out there and people hopefully dig it. So that's always a good thing. There's benefits to either side, but I think for now we probably won't enforce that.
See, what's interesting, it's funny, we started this conversation talking about age and our age difference, which I got like 30 years on you. I started going to concerts at a time cell phones didn't exist. That's the way I was first introduced to it. You really don't have a perspective of that, given your age. There was never a time there really wasn't cell phones that you were going to shows, right?
Sure, but I mean, like, I remember when cell phones didn't have cameras on them, and I remember I saw what the White Stripes at the Greek Theater when I had a a phone that could barely take a picture, let alone a video. So I feel like I can experience both sides of the coin. I think millennials kind of understand what it was like pre and post, but yeah, it's great to just disconnect. It's healthy.
I'll tell you the biggest thing for me, because I hadn't done it in forever until I went to see Ghost recently. And Ghost, like Tobias, won't play unless they pay the money for the bags. Like he wants the full lockup because of the production he's putting on, and I get that. I was not sure how I was going to feel about it, and I loved it. And you know what struck me as really interesting about it is, of course, during the concert, as a fan in the audience, you're not looking around people's phones if you're trying to see, which is also annoying. But the other side of it, which really I kind of took for granted and didn't realize, is the vibe before the show starts. Because before a concert starts, most people are texting or looking at their phones or scrolling while 10, 15 minutes before the show. You take that component out of it, they have no choice but to talk to each other. Yeah. And it was just such
to
a
interact
weird,
with your fellow human.
Yeah. And like the person sitting next to you, hey, what do you think they're going to play? And like, because you had no choice. You didn't have that distraction of the phone. And that aspect of it, like the pre-concert vibe, was something I completely hadn't thought about until I actually lived it at that concert.
Yeah, it builds anticipation too. You're excited.
Yeah. It was really funny too, because I was coming out of the bathroom. It was here in Vegas at the T-Mobile or at the MGM Garden. I was coming out of the bathroom and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Holy shit, Eddie Trunk, man, great to meet you. Can I get a quick photo?" And I go, "Sure." And then he goes, "Oh, wait, I can't." Because he reached for the phone and it's locked up in this bag. And I go, "Oh, man, catch me in the lobby on the way out." So that was a funny aspect of it too, which I never would have even thought of.
That's really funny.
And there's different ways to do it. Like a band you're going on tour with, Maiden, they have just vocally said, hey, they're not locking them up, but they're saying, keep it in your pocket. Take a quick photo, keep it in your pocket. And then there's what Ghost or Tool does where you can't even access it. So you see artists kind of tackling it in different ways. And I do agree with you guys being a younger band. I mean, it helps grow the following a little bit if somebody can click on YouTube and say, hey, look, what they're doing is cool. I want to go. So it is a two-edged sword. Definitely feels that way. Couple more and then I'll let you go. Wolf, here's Tommy in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Go ahead, Tommy.
Hey, Wolf, congratulations on all your success. I'm sure your dad would be super proud of you.
Thank you, Tommy.
I got a two-part question. The first part will be quick. Would you ever jump on stage with Hagar on the Best of All Worlds tour and do a Van Halen song? And B, the main question I had is, when your dad was falling ill and we were prepping the Mammoth album and supposedly you had it going for a while, did you and your dad ever jam out the songs on your first album? Like when you were going over them, like did you play them together ever, or like him on guitar, drums, bass? Because I know he does it all. Did you ever do that? I always wanted to ask you. I thought that would have been so cool if you did. It would what an event for you. Like looking back.
A good question. Okay, so one, no. I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's not something I'm interested in doing. I really want to build my own thing, and I think I don't really want to play much of Van Halen music without my dad anyways. And two, yes, actually. In December of 2014, when I was getting ready to track what would be the beginning of Mammoth, it was January 2015 that we started the original tracks. I actually have a video. It's a really terribly filmed video because it's right next to my hi-hat on my cell phone. So it's just all hi-hat, total noise. But on a song that actually ended up on The End, the song Selfish, I have a video of my dad and I jamming on that song in 2014, which is crazy to think that it came out last year. That's how long that idea has been around. And I taught him how to play it on guitar, and I got on drums, and we jammed through the song together a couple of times. And that's a video I hold very close. I love that. It's not the reason I haven't ever posted it is because it's just, I don't know, you can barely hear it. I probably should have put the phone camera somewhere else. But yeah, we did. He really, I don't think it ever got out how stoked Dad was about it. He loved the music so much. And he heard a lot of what would end up on the next few albums, because the 28 songs I wrote at the very beginning of Mammoth in 2015 kind of got spread out because certain ideas weren't done yet. So songs like Miles Above Me on Mammoth 2, and songs like Selfish and Something New that just came out on the end were part of those ideas. So he knew those ideas and loved them. So I think he'd be super stoked. It's a tough, it's an emotional thing. Every time every positive thing that happens to me has a tinge of sadness, because it's like, dang, I really wish I could have shared this with Dad. I wish he could have seen it. He would be stoked. Like, I think he really would have loved I Really Wanna on this new record, just for the riff itself and that it was drop A. Like, I could just see him be like, that's killer. Because he always loved the first note in the chorus of Epiphany. If you know the song, when we tracked the bass on it for that first note, we detuned it so it was a low B, so it just had this big rumble. And he always loved that first hit. You kind of make that stank face when you're listening to stuff that you like. He loved that. So I know he would dig it.
So he was familiar with a lot of the material, but the only one you actually jammed with him was Selfish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of tuning and stuff, do you have a favorite Van Halen album? Do you have a favorite album of your dad's?
I mean, I always hate playing this game. Like, anytime somebody's like, oh, Desert Island Records or whatever, it's just like, I don't like doing that. But if I had to pick, I think I could narrow it down to 2 records from each era that might be my favorite, even though it doesn't mean the others aren't my favorite. Right. I think Fair Warning and 1984 are really special to me. Songs like the B-sides, songs like Dirty Movies. Hear About It Later. Was that a single? I can't even remember.
No, but it's great.
Yeah, and then stuff like Drop Dead Legs and Top Jimmy and Girl Gone Bad. Including all of the incredible hits like Unchained, and then you have Hot for Teacher and Jump and all that stuff. And then for the Hagar years, I think For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge might be my favorite. I think Judgment Day is stealthily one of the best Van Halen songs ever made, I think.
Agreed.
I don't think people realize how good that song is. And Balance is a really special album because that was the one album I really remember when I was a kid. Granted, I found recent footage, like old childhood footage. I was in the room when Dad was recording 316 for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I was like a month old, and I didn't realize there's a video of my mom holding me sitting in the studio while he's tracking it. So I was in the room when he tracked 316, which is crazy to me. I didn't know that. So obviously I don't remember that because I just found it out when I saw the video. But yeah, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance. Not that I don't like 5150 or OU812. But yeah.
I've totally expected you to say Fair Warning from the Roth era, because that record, and again, look, I love all the records. Most do. You do as well, of course. But when we have these sort of fun conversations,
yeah.
For whatever reason, that record among guitar players, after the first record, of course, is the record they go to as Fair Warning. Mm-hmm. And they all talk, and that's why it came into my head, because you mentioned your tuning on that song on your own record. But that record, they all talk about your dad and the Brown sound and all of that. But for whatever reason, I'm not a musician, so I can't pinpoint it. But for whatever reason, guitar players love everything your dad did, but they default to Fair Warning. It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You pick that up too?
I just think it's a really special record. I think the songs on it are just really, really special. And especially in hindsight, where it's like it wasn't as successful comparatively when it was released, which is why I think the label had more control with Diver Down, which is why there were so many covers on it, which is what Dad didn't like about it, where he has a quote that I attribute like I say it to this day all the time, which was I'd rather bomb playing my own music than succeed playing somebody else's, which is ironic considering I use that response when people tell me I should be playing Van Halen music. But I really take that to heart. I really dig that. And I think Fair Warning was like that full like dad album. Like he put everything of himself into that. Like I don't think you would have gotten Sunday Afternoon in the Park on any other record, but Dad was just fucking with stuff and end up coming up with that cool thing. So it was just and fun little Easter egg. He tracked the that little mini synthesizer right next to Al. He was in the room with him. So when you hear the first snare hits and you hear the synth go like ew, 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 it's literally the synth reacting to the sonics in the room of how hard Al was hitting the snare. It wasn't that effective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
that is amazing, man. I got a soft spot for Women and Children. I love that record. That's a heavy record. Fools and all that stuff. Oh, my God.
Romeo Delight, man.
Romeo Delight. Oh, my God. It's just there's so much stuff on that record that I love as well.
Great. That's why it's so tough to pin it against each other.
Yeah, and one thing I'm really glad that you mentioned Balance, because I think in a lot of ways that's almost a bit of an underrated record.
It is. I don't think people give it as much credit. I think it's one of the best sounding records like ever. It just sounds incredible.
Bruce Fairbairn.
Just put some huge headphones on and listen to the Seventh Seal. It just will blow your mind.
Yeah. I, Sammy played the Seventh Seal recently, and it was incredible. And I went to Japan with him a year ago, and Can't Stop Loving You was a huge hit over there. Big hit. And he was like, I remember him saying to me, he goes, I got to find a way to work this up and play it because they'll kill me here if I don't do it. And he did it a couple nights in Japan. I was in the audience and seeing all these Japanese people singing, I can't stop loving you. It was really cool. And I'm like, how did this not happen in America? That should have been huge here.
Yeah,
it's a great pop song.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
One or two more quick ones, then I'll let you go.
Sure.
This is our buddy in Mexico City, Kraus. Go ahead, Kraus. You're on with Wolf.
Hey, how are you? Hello from Mexico City. Hola from Mexico.
What's going on?
When I was 18 years old, 1981, I flew on my own to New York City to see my first Van Halen show. It was a Fair Warning tour at the Garden. I think Eddie was in attendance. One night before, I had an accident, and your dad stayed with me till emergency services came over to pick me up, and hope to tell you that story one day in person. But what I really wanted to tell you was your dad was my guitar hero, of course, being my age. On September 24, my then 15-year-old kid flew twice round trip from L.A. to Mexico City, twice in less than 10 days to see his own Guitar Hero opening for Metallica on his father's hometown. We were there at the Snake Pit on both shows. You opened for Metallica here at Estadio GNP. On his return to L.A., he asked his godfather, Mexico's biggest rock star, for a Wolfband special strip guitar and guitar lessons. To this day, at 17, 16 and a half, he still plays on his first rock band, and you're still his guitar hero. So, Poetic Justice, Wolf, thank you.
Wow. That is incredible, man.
That's pretty darn cool.
Thank you so much. That's an honor. Those shows in Mexico were incredible. They were the last two shows of the Metallica run, which it was already really emotional. It was like, oh my God, we've done this for 2 years and it's ending. We'd never been to Mexico either. And the crowds were crazy. It was insane. So to know that y'all were in the audience, that's super, super cool. Thank you so much.
Take one last call. Here's Paul in Houston. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Wolf. Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, man.
I just have a quick question.
They say hi to Sebastian because Sebastian Bach listens to this show every day, so that's like a joke. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, I just had a quick question for you, Eddie. How many of those top 10 rebuilds have you done?
Oh, I don't know. We shot those a while ago. They just kind of run them on a loop. I probably did 4 or 5.
Yeah, I've seen you in a couple recently. And last week we did Dual Threats.
Yes.
Wolfgang Van Halen, sir. I chose you and Miles Kennedy, your homeboy, as Dual Threats. And my question regarding that is, how when you were coming up, did your dad work with you at all on drums, his first love, or did Al do it, or did he just? I had heard that he was not interested in teaching, that he wasn't too great at it, and so he probably just let you do things on your own.
Yeah, nobody ever believes me when I say that I wasn't taught. The only thing Dad taught me was I've told the story many times. He had like these magazines on a table, and he was like, with one hand do this, another hand do this. That's the snare. You have your foot in between those two hits, and now you're playing Highway to Hell. So he taught me how to play regular Highway to Hell beat, and then
your dad taught you, not your uncle. Your dad.
Yeah.
He was a good drummer. Did your dad play drums well?
He started on drums, and
I know that, but did he stay up with it? Like, would you consider him a good player?
He wasn't too practiced, but he could still play a beat, Right. And so he taught me how to play a Highway to Hell beat, and from there I listened to Best of Volume 1 and tried to recreate stuff, and I listened to Enema of the State by Blink-182. It was those two records that I just tried to like, how do you play that? And from there I just tried to play everything I heard. It wasn't until I heard Anima by Tool for the first time that I noticed a step up in my ability once I figured out how to play that stuff. But yeah, Dad never sat me down other than that moment to teach me anything, let alone guitar, drums, bass. Al never taught me anything either. I just learned from watching them and trying to play stuff that interested me. Nobody ever really believes me when I say that, but that is what happened.
So for the most part, you're self-taught on all the instruments you play?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and do you think that that's for people that are listening that want to learn, do you think that's a good way to go, or do you just have to have that instinct? Do you recommend lessons?
I just think it depends. I think it's situational per person. I wish I had gotten piano lessons. That's something I wish I had done. But I think the ironic thing is that most people who get piano lessons as a kid hate it and end up resenting it, which is a funny thing to just have a bunch of talented people that can play piano but that don't want to. But I wish I had taken piano lessons and had wanted to, because now I wish I was better at the piano. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just I just think it depends on if somebody has a natural inherent desire to want to learn things by ear, and if they find something that they enjoy and that they can figure it out pretty quickly, then cool. But if not, lessons don't hurt either. Either way to get you to where you need to go is cool.
And then of course there's always YouTube.
Nowadays, it's comparatively to what people had back then to now. I think there's a lot of stuff that you can just look it up on YouTube. I've wanted to do that for a while. If I had the time, if I wasn't touring, I always thought it'd be fun to do videos on like, hey, here's how to play this Mammoth song on guitar, and if you can't play guitar, you'll be able to play at least one chord or one verse or something if I teach you how to do it. I thought that would be a fun YouTube thing to do. Maybe if I get a big break and we, take a album cycle off or something, I could do that. But who knows?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of guitars that musicians have gifted me over the years, and I can't play, and it's a great regret because I really wish I could play just anything. And one day I want to take a lesson. I want to learn when I have the time. But they're hanging on my wall, and my son, who's 18, went home the other day, and there he is with this guitar that Lizzie Hale gave me, one of her models, and he's got a little amp, and he's playing. And I said, where did you learn to do that? He's like, YouTube. I go, I've had that, like I would kill to learn. He goes, don't worry, Dad, I'll teach you one day. And I'm like, he didn't take a lesson. Now all of a sudden he's taking singing lessons. He's all into it. So you don't know where the spark's going to come, and you don't know what's going to drive someone, how quickly they can adapt it. It was amazing that he was able to do that. I don't think I could have, but I guess it's just how you're wired,
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty amazing. Well, listen, man, I appreciate the time. It's always good to shoot the shit with you. And again, everybody check out, as you just heard, tons of opportunities to see Mammoth on the road, starting with the headline dates in Buffalo on March 5th. And just go online, see all the dates, the tour with Bush coming up, the stuff outside of America. Stay safe out there, man, and travel safe. I hope to see you at one of these shows. And again, thank you for the time. Always good to talk to you.
Likewise, man. Thank you so much. You be well.
All right. See you, Wolf. Take care. there he goes, everybody. Wolfgang Van Halen. We did almost an hour. Well, we did actually an hour with him, few minutes more. So it's always cool to get that kind of time. I say that all the time, man. It's great when you can kind of kick it with these guys like we just did. You don't have like that 10-minute quick press hit and then you got to go to really spread out, take some calls, let you guys engage with these people and just kind of hang. That's the best stuff. That's what I love doing the most. So thanks to Wolfgang Van Halen for making that happen. Thanks to my buddy Kevin Shiramonte, publicist extraordinaire, for making that happen. And appreciate him giving us all that time. And thank you guys for listening. So with that, we will take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue with some phone calls. Anything you want to hit me with in rock, 844-686-5863. We'll have about 20 minutes on the other side of the break to talk about anything you want, comment on the interview, anything you want to hit me with. It's all good right after this quick break.
Follow the 2026 State of the Union with live coverage on Sirius XM. Tonight, President Trump delivers his address to the nation, and Sirius XM is your front row seat. Tune to our news channels for every moment as it happens, and stay with us for in-depth reaction and expert analysis from across the political spectrum immediately after the address on Sirius XM Patriot, POTUS, and Progress. Tonight at 9 p.m. East, search State of the Union in the Sirius XM app.
Looking for a little extra fun? Chumba Casino lets you play for free with daily login rewards and a cheeky little welcome bonus when you sign up. Explore hundreds of online social casino games and jump in whenever it works for you. No routines, no pressure, just entertainment on your terms. That's Chumba. Only available in permitted states. No purchase necessary. See terms and conditions for details. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21+.
Hi, I'm Todd Kinchin, retired NFL wide receiver. You work hard every day, yet your money just sits there while others keep growing theirs. That's frustrating. I know the feeling. Trying to trade on your own is stressful, time-consuming, and full of second guessing. That's why I teamed up with TrueTrade. Their AI-powered platform trades for you automatically, efficiently. Even if you've never traded before, you can get started right away. And here's what makes TrueTrade different. When you download the TrueTrade app, they'll guarantee to fund each of your trading accounts with $50,000 or more in trading capital, so you can start building passive income without risking your own money or spending years trying to learn the market.
To take advantage of our offer and secure your $50,000 in funding, download the TrueTrade app today on iOS and Android, or go to TrueTrade.io. That's TrueTrade.io. TrueTrade, where technology earns for you. See terms.
Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
New adventures await your family this year. Make your next getaway unforgettable with Apple Vacations. You can save up to 40% on spring break and summer vacation packages during the family travel sale. Plus, kids stay free at select resorts when you book now through February 26th. Prioritize making memories this year and start planning your next family trip today by visiting applevacations.com. Or reach out to your trusted travel advisor to enjoy these deals before they're gone.
This is Ari Azim, founder at Tax Hardship Center. Do you owe the IRS more than $25,000 and wonder where you stand with them? Are they poised to levy your bank account or garnish your next paycheck? Are you aware you can find out where you stand with the IRS without talking to them? Everything is in the IRS transcripts. The transcripts can let you know if you're at risk of or safe from collection actions like a bank levy or paycheck garnishment. It even tells you the exact date when your tax debt expires. But don't call them, as it can trigger their collection process. At Tax Hardship Center, we provide the tax resolution report that shows all of this information. So for the listeners out there, call now, 800-313-5922. Let our team of experts at Tax Hardship Center help you see things clearly without poking the bear. We have live professionals ready for your call, 800-313-5922. 800-313-5922. That's 800-313-5922.
Now more hard and heavy conversation.
This makes you move.
Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk.
And I want more.
Sirius XM Faction Talk.
Trunk Nation, awesome.
All right, we are back. and we are talking rock with you live on this Tuesday here on Trunk Nation. Faction Talk 103 or the Sirius XM app. You want to jump in with anything here before we wrap up in the next 15 minutes? Our phones are open right now at 844-686-5863. As usual, our toll-free number, 844-686-5863. Just wrapped up minutes ago with Wolfgang Van Halen. And if you missed that interview, again, you can always go back and rewind or just start the show over from the top or grab it on demand anytime you want using the SiriusXM app. Covered a lot of ground with Wolf in an hour-long conversation that just ended minutes ago. We also captured that on Zoom. So we'll, somewhere down the line, post some video of that on the YouTube channel as well. A couple visual elements in there that he showed me. A plaque or sort of an award that Metallica gave him for playing all those shows that they opened on the M72 tour. Some other fun stuff in there as well. So be sure to check out the video when we post it up there for you. And look, I'll tell you this right out of the gate, just so you're aware. I obviously asked the question about, and I saw half the calls were people wanting to know about this alleged Van Halen album. I can tell you now, I let him comment on it as you heard, but you could clearly hear, and I can tell you for a fact, it's not something he wants to talk about at length. As you heard, he doesn't know what it is. He is not involved in it. He's not sure what the material is. He's not sure if he is or isn't on it. So I know that everyone is hyped about this one way or the other. I get that completely. I get that Alex Van Halen saying what he said in that interview that he did has gotten people fired up. And as I talk about all the time, when it comes to the internet and the world of social media, one comment turns into a whole nother thing. And it gets thrown into the social media washing machine and becomes headlines of new Van Halen album imminent of unreleased material. Paul Rodgers to sing on it. To the point that Paul Rodgers has to issue a statement saying not only is he not singing on it, he's not singing on it because he's not healthy. He's not singing on it because it's not where he's at musically right now. We do not know what this record is. Wolf does not know what this record is. Wolf's focus is his own band, as has been the case since the day the guy launched this project. I'll say this. He has been consistent with that, and it's admirable, because he could have taken a super easy route going out there and playing a set that's 50% Van Halen songs, 50% his own music, and gone down that road. He did not. He has not. Outside of very, very, very few examples, he has not touched the Van Halen stuff. And let's be honest. I mean, if he went out there and did a Van Halen show or a Van Halen tribute or played as Van Halen in some capacity, it would be huge. It would be a big deal. Be a ton of interest. He hasn't done that. He has said consistently since day one, my dad told me to do me. Meaning do his own thing, blaze his own path. And he's doing that. And he's building it very nicely. But his relationship with the Van Halen legacy and catalog is always going to be there because of his last name and because of whose son he is. That's why in the interview I talked to him about always people referring to him as a kid. He's a married man in his 30s now, but he's always going to be the kid. Not because he's super young anymore, but because he's the kid of the man who is revered as one of the all-time greats. So, he's not stupid. He knows that. But he wants to do his own thing. And it seems like, as he said, when it comes to the Van Halen stuff, he's there as a sounding board. He's there if he's needed, but he is not actively engaged in that stuff. What's changed in the last couple of years is that his uncle, Alex, is engaged in that. Alex writes, remember, for years, we didn't hear anything from Alex Van Halen. In the last year, we've heard a lot from him. He's done some interviews. He's done signings. He's done a book. He is now talking about this unreleased music. But, according to Wolf, and what you get there is it's very much his thing, meaning Alex's thing, spearheading that. Wolf doesn't know anything about it. So there's not a lot to say there. And again, I know I had to ask the question because you guys would kill me if I didn't, and it's news out there, but I knew in advance there wasn't going to be much coming back from it. He said what he said. He's focused on an entire year of touring and continuing to work his own music. And if this record ever comes to fruition, we'll see what it is. We'll see if it's comes out under the name Van Halen. We'll see if it comes out under the name of Alex and Eddie. We'll see if it comes out under a different name. We'll see who's on it and who ends up being on it. But, Wolf doesn't even know what the material is. Apparently there's so much material in 5150, the studio. Whether it's old stuff they jammed on, he doesn't know what's what. So this is something that's been spearheaded by Alex, and Alex will lead on it. And when he wants to tell people more about it, and there's more to say about it, we'll know. But again, the narrative and the internet and, one comment, and we see this almost daily, you've got radio stations out there saying there's an unreleased Van Halen album coming. Paul Rodgers may sing on it. No, there's not. We don't know it's going to be a Van Halen record. Paul Rodgers is not on it. He was someone they thought about. Wolf, as you just heard, doesn't even know if he's on it because he doesn't know what the material is. But this is a daily occurrence with how things are in media and social media these days. You see it at least once or twice a week. Steve Perry had to put out a statement. No, I'm not going back to Journey. That went crazy just because Jonathan Cain said, well, he didn't say no. Well, he also didn't say yes. But don't let facts get in the way of clicks. That's the world we're in today. So, not saying this thing isn't happening. Alex Van Halen said it. But what it is or what it's going to be, still we don't know. And clearly Wolf doesn't either. Couple calls here, and then we'll wrap up for a Tuesday. Tomorrow, we have calls, we have news, and we have Jesse James Dupree of Jackal stopping by for a bit. So that is on tomorrow's show. And again, this week, you're going to get Steve Vai and Joe Satriani together. Brand new interview, world premiere of their brand new song together called Dancing. That'll happen on Friday. This week, we also will bring you John Taylor of the Power Station in Duran Duran in a brand new exclusive interview. And as I mentioned, we'll likely be able to work in some emails. Eddie at eddietrunk.com, mailbag in the subject, name and city, a sentence or two about what you want to ask or talk about. With our remaining time in today's show, let's go over to the phones. Again, 844-686-5863 is the number. We start in Ohio. Scott is our first caller. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Eddie. Good to talk to you again, man. Great interview with Wolf, as usual. What a great kid. Funny.
Hey, there's the kid, right? Thank you. Appreciate it, Scott.
Hey, No problem. My wife and I have tickets to your speaking show in Yellow Springs here in a couple of weeks, and I was wondering if you were going to bring merch.
Good question. I mean, I don't know. I got to talk to the guy who does the merch for me. I usually don't, because usually, they're not, it's not like I'm going, there's 1,000 people there and it's a lot lugging it around to sell a couple shirts or whatever. And I do sell it on my website. So I always tell people if they want to buy a shirt or something, the easiest way for them and me is to just go to my site and buy something. But I'll look into it, Scott. I mean, if I can throw a few things in the bag, I'm happy to do it, but I'm not sure on that just yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Great show. Have a great show tomorrow, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you coming out to the show. Hey, Scott, are you still there?
Yeah.
Where is Yellow Springs? How far from Cincinnati is that?
43 miles north.
So about an hour by car.
About an hour by car, yeah.
All right, because I'm just figuring out my logistics on this now, because I'm starting in the Cleveland area and then coming over there and then flying out of Cincinnati. So, and have you been to the place where I'm doing this at?
No, I have not. I've never even heard of it, actually. It was a surprise to me that is it a brewery?
I think. I've never been there. It's called Tuckin' Reds. I think it's a wine/brewery sort of place that has a stage where they do some live performance. That's all I know.
Oh, great. So they're going to have a bunch of cheese that nobody likes. That's perfect. Anyway.
Well, hey, we'll figure it out together, Scott. I'll see you there on March 7th.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Here's Mike in Virginia. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Eddie. 2 questions for you. I was wondering, have you ever seen the documentary about the darkness called Welcome to the Darkness? Jericho's actually got a little bit of a part in it. And I was wondering also, when you're in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for the Mountain Music Festival, any chance you could have one of your speaking engagements there? I think that would be perfect.
Thank you, Mike. I've not seen the documentary on the darkness. I didn't know there was one. I would like to. So I'll do my best to check it out. Look for that for sure. The event in Gatlinburg, Mountain Music Festival, is all about the music. There's not really an environment there. To do a speaking show, you really you need that sort of audience. It's not obviously music driven. So I don't think it would make sense to do there. It's I'm more running around saying hi to people and hosting the bands and introing the bands. So probably not, but you never know. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to Wolfgang Van Halen. Thank you for listening. Back live tomorrow.
The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Robert Kelly.
I don't weigh myself. I don't know what I weigh right now. My guess would be 260.
I weigh 230 right now. I weigh 230. But you're a big guy. But do you want to get abs again, or do you? No, right?
Again.
Wrong choice of words.
The Bonfire, weeknights at 5 p.m. Eastern on Faction Talk or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
I'm Katie Nolan, and I host a show on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio called Fan Service. It's a show that is as much yours as it is mine. It's all about conversation. I'll throw out some things that are on my mind,